Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another edition of the Wrap Up. Dan Myers is right here, as always, and I'm Nick Buckler. Yes, that's right, folks. This is a Arizona Coyotes jersey. The great John Scott. Have to support him. His All-Star jersey was already sold out when I went to make the purchase, so I said, got to put him on the Yotes. That's when he was at his prime there in the Sabres. He's played for almost every team in the league. Guy's a goon, but he's close to my heart. For $27, you can't beat this beautiful, beautiful piece of fabric. Came with the price or the fight strap. So I'm gonna support Johnny Scott today on the show.
Absolutely.
And I might be the
Snazzy,
only
man. All right.
Yeah, you know, fresh to death is what they
It
say.
looks like you just got drafted.
I did actually.
All right.
We got a special guest coming to the show later. We're gonna
Big
make you wait,
surprise.
but he is an NHL hockey player. Is gracing us with his presence. It's our first real big. Our first big guest, and I'm pretty excited for him. I know you are too, Dan. One of our favorite players on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a hint. He plays for the Red Wings. So there you go. Got that. Team will be heading to Columbus tomorrow. He's in town. Said I got to be on the wrap up. We'll get to that at the end of the show. Right now, we are going to talk Red Wings hockey though. After winning 3 straight, they have now lost 2 in a row. 2 both at the hands of the Chicago Blackhawks, and 1 at home 5-2, 1 on the road 4-1. And the story of the Red Wings of late is Peter Mrazek has been losing his gusto. He was yanked from the game Sunday after allowing 2 goals in the first 7.5 minutes of the game. Jimmy Howard then comes in, shuts the door. Gus Nyquist gets a goal to really put this game back into reach. But at the end of the day, it was just a defensive lapse from the Red Wings, and they lose yet again. I think their offense was there. They just didn't put the puck in the net. Corey Crawford played well. Chicago blocked a lot of shots, but their offense dominantly outshot Chicago in this game Sunday at the United Center in Chicago. But Howard's playing well when he's been called upon. That game Monday in Dallas when he came in for the injured Peter Mrazek, who has a tweaked groin, that's past tense now. Jimmy shut him down. He was doing the splits. He looked like the Jimmy Howard of old. And that was really good to see. I'm rooting for him. He really is at the top of his game, at least for this year now. 2 starts in a row. The first one being a few Sundays ago at Madison Square Garden when he shut out the Rangers through regulation, then in Dallas against one of the best offenses in the league, and they managed to get 2 points with an overtime win, Pavel Datsyuk. But do we have is a goalie controversy starting to come back now with the emergence of Howard playing well and kind of the lackluster performances of Peter Mrazek?
You know, that's a good question. I listen to a lot of talk radio fans talking as far as, you know, what was going on in that game, especially yesterday or, you know, Sunday with Chicago. Personally, I really didn't think it was too much on Mrazek. Yes, he's been hurt. Yes, you know, he hasn't let in the best goals, but, you know, for him to get pulled so early, honestly, I think it was a lapse in the defensive error. I mean, you had, I think it was Eriksson blocking him from that shot from the point. It was clearly his line of sight. There was no way he was going to see that puck coming at it, especially, you know, a slap shot 60 feet away was just flying in there. So honestly, it felt like it was more of a personal choice that he came out as opposed to the, you know, Blashill pulling him out. Maybe he just wasn't feeling it, but I think the big problem is not only our defense not using size and strength, which you're always going to hear that from me. You know, especially when you got 2 big guys like Eriksson and DeKeyser. They got to throw their strength around. They got to make themselves present in front of the net. The way they were just getting manhandled these past couple of games was just embarrassing, and they really need to take advantage of that. And then going back to some of those previous games, I feel like the forwards actually need really to step up. Obviously, Larkin's a little shoddy right now, but you can't expect him to be going 110% throughout the whole season, especially his first year as a professional. Anthony Ciu, he's doing pretty good. He's getting a little colder. I think it was 4 goals out of the last 20 games. He's doing a pretty good job. But you can't really rely too much on your rings when you have these experienced forwards also. So, you know, it's a big jambalaya mix of problems that need to be solved before, you know, the playoffs show up. But I really feel that the big problem is our defense, just not giving the support to our goalies, and that in turn can affect the whole rest of the way of the game. And a minor thing real quick before I hand it back over to you is I think we have a lot of problems penetrating the offensive zone. Once we get in there, we're fine. Yes, we do need to shoot the puck. I hate to be that guy, the shoot the puck guy that's always screaming at the net, but we do need to get it in the zone. I feel like that's been tough as of late. They need to work on that, but yeah. So there's some things they got to work on, but I think that they're in a good position to make some moves the playoffs.
Yeah, penetrating the zone's been a big problem, especially on the power play. It's why their power play's really been struggling. They do a lot of tossing the puck around the neutral zone, looping, but they can never get it over that blue line. They do that little drop pass at center ice. It's very telegraphed. Everyone knows it's coming, and I really think it's just been their power play for the last 10 years under Babcock as well as Jeff Blashill. But I really think they need to get out of kind of that comfort zone because there's really no comfort there when you're not producing a product on the ice. You're not having a good power play. Their PK has been well of late. I think they're 11th in the NHL now in PK with 82.5% kill rate. But I just want to kind of oppose you here on Athanasiou for a minute. I do agree Larkin is definitely fizzling out a little bit. I'm not writing him off by any means. He's still got the speed. He's just going through, his rookie slump, if you will, which that's fine. To say you have 19 goals at this point, I think is amazing. And a lot of people weren't sure he's even going to make this team. So we're happy that he's here. He's produced when he's been here. Athanasiou, though, you say 4 goals in 20 games. That's right. But he has 3 goals in his last 5 games. Yeah. So, this guy, he's fast. He cuts through. Sunday's game, he went through 3 Chicago Blackhawks, left an empty net for Teemu Pulkkinen, who, in my opinion, should not be in the NHL, who missed the 4x6. Empty net. Athanasiou would have been better off shooting from the goal line than tossing it to Teemu. This guy's got to go back. Call up Eric Tangradi. Teemu Pulkkinen is not an NHL player. The guy shoots from anywhere, and it's rough. A guy who has been playing well that a lot of people do not like in the city of Detroit is Kyle Quincy. I think he's been one of the best defensemen on this team. He's the only guy who's sticking up for his players. His captain got hurt, or not got hurt, but got run a couple games ago. And who was there to stick up for him? Kyle Quincy. So, fear the beard. Kyle Quincy's here. You're going to get whacked if you come in. Sure, he's very heavy on that stick, so he's going to take those tripping, slashing penalties because he just whacks people pretty hard. But I really like his emergence. He's been playing better than Eriksson. He's been playing better than Smith. And to me, he's been playing better than Kronwall. DeKeyser's really kind of fizzled. I've been a huge supporter of DeKeyser, saying he's our best defenseman for the last 2 years now. But right now, to me, the best defenseman on the Detroit Red Wings is Kyle Quincy.
Yeah. And like you said it perfectly. He fizzled. He doesn't really want that presence on a big guy. That's what was the nice luxury of getting, DeKeyser and, even Kronwall. Granted, I feel he's more targeted by the NHL, so he's going to sort of mellow down the game. You're not going to see the big Kronwallian hits that you normally saw. But, unfortunately, they're just not producing like they should be. And that's too bad. They got to figure out something. But, just to be clear, I am a big fan of Andreas Athanasiou. I think he's terrific. He fits here perfectly. And I'm excited to see what he brings. The 71 and 72 combination is it's awesome to watch. And the only way they can go is up. It's fantastic.
It doesn't matter who you put on that line with them. Lately, it's been Brad Richards, and I think that's important to get a guy like Richards, a veteran, going, who really was battling injury at the beginning of the year. But I really think he's emerged. He has 3 goals in his last 6 games. So Richards, 2 guys though that have to get going for this team to move is Tomas Tatar and Gus Nyquist. Without these guys, the Red Wings may not make the playoffs, and they're definitely not going to win a series without those 2 guys scoring goals. It hurt to not have Pavel Datsyuk in Chicago. He's not hurt, though. That's the good thing, just battling flu-like symptoms. He'll be back, and that's why you saw Teemu Pulkkinen in there. But Nyquist and Tatar, the importance of them, they are almost, when they're good, the Red Wings are good. When they've both scored this year, the Red Wings are 6-1 in games that they have both scored in. So that's, to me, that just proves how little they've each scored, that they've only factored in 7 games. But 6-1.
Yeah.
Imagine if they did in 15 games. Let's say they lose maybe 3. That's 12-3. That's incredible. 17 games left. The Red Wings go 10-7. They'll be at 96 points. That should be good enough to be in the playoffs. There's really only one team that can kind of knock out either Detroit or Pittsburgh, and I think that's the Philadelphia Flyers. Carolina's fizzled out. New Jersey's fizzled out. Ottawa's fizzled out. And now the Red Wings could still get second in the division. And first, still, Tampa Bay's been on fire. They've won 9 straight games. But they can pass Boston. They can pass Florida. They could still pass Tampa, but they really need to get scoring from their scorers. I'm not worried about secondary scoring. That's been there. Guys like Richards, guys like Athanasiou. Even Darren Helm's been playing well of late. It's these primary guys. Zetterberg, Datsuk's been fine when he's been in. But Abdelkader, these primary guys, Tomas Tatar, Gus Nyquist, these guys need to find the back of the net or the Wings are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Those star players have to be there. It's unfortunate when you got the second and third lines coming off strong, and you got the stars not producing like they should. But yeah, you're right. And nothing's guaranteed just because they've been there for they've had this awesome history of being in the playoffs for so long. It doesn't mean you're guaranteed a slot. But yeah, it's just they could and they should beat these Florida and Boston teams. But like you said, if your stars aren't producing, you're going to have trouble.
Yeah, those are teams they're going to have to beat if they want to make a run in the playoffs. You're going to have series against Boston. You're going to have series against Tampa Bay, Florida, the Rangers, the Islanders. And I mean, you're going to probably have to see Washington Capitals if you want to make the Stanley Cup Finals. It's plain and simple. Mm-hmm. Got to beat the good teams to prove you're a good team. And right now, the Red Wings are an average team at best. I hope they prove me wrong. But going forward, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tough going for a former first-round pick in the NFL. RG3, Robert Griffin III, was released Monday by the Washington Redskins. He did not get along with ownership, coaching, prized possession, lost his job to the third-string quarterback, Kirk Cousins, Michigan State, obviously. But now he says he wants to play for the Dallas Cowboys. If you're Dallas, do you want him?
I think he made a lot of mistakes as far as the Cowboys are concerned. I don't know if I could pull the trigger with that one. You got some questionable characters already in the team in the locker room. This guy seems to have a big head on his shoulders, a little bit of a diva whatever you want to call him. And I think there's a lot of potential egos in that locker room that probably won't mend as they won't mesh as well. So if I was Dallas, I'd definitely stay away. But then again, if they do pick up RG3, that's the least of their concerns in the locker room. But if I'm Jerry Jones, I say no.
If I'm Jerry Jones, I say yes.
Really?
Because I'm delusional.
It's true.
Jerry Jones is a whack job. And if I'm him, he doesn't care how good a player is. He wants butts in the seats.
Yeah.
Although they are America's team and they sell out every game, it's publicity. They're going to have RG3 Dreadlock Night. They're going to have Baylor Bear Night. They're going to have anything. He's a local kid. They want promotions. They want the media presence. They thrive on drama and paparazzi. That's why I think if Johnny Manziel doesn't go to prison, they're going to take a run at Manziel to be the third string, RG3 to be their backup, Tony Romo to be their starter. They love drama in Dallas. And I think Donald Trump, Chris Christie, and Jerry Jones are the three best friends anyone should have. Look out, folks. Donald Trump, Chris Christie ticket. And guess who that secretary, treasurer is going to be? Jerry Jones. America, let's do it. Moving on, NBA. Pistons tied for the 8th seed with the Chicago Bulls. Their record 32-31 entering the week. And hey, they won 5 of their last 7 with their new small forward, Tobias Harris. Trade was voided last week with Donatas Montejunas and Marcus Thornton. We touched on that briefly last week. But the Pistons now are on a little bit of a road trip, but coming up in 2 weeks, they are home for 9 straight against very beatable opponents. Dan, the Pistons, they got to win these games, take advantage of playing these lower-seeded teams. Saturday, they got mollywopped by the New York Knicks, and Stan Van Gundy called it horrendous and embarrassing. And really, you can't be losing to those teams. I don't care where you're at, if you're playing at Madison Square. The Knicks are beat-up, depleted team. And if you want to be a contender to win a couple of rounds of the playoffs, which I don't think the Pistons have a realistic run to make the NBA championship, although last week I was on my high horse saying, I'm buying rings for everybody. But no. I mean, if they do, that'll be excellent. But realistically, they can win a series or two. And I think they can move up to maybe the 5th or 6th seed, right now tied for 8th. But they have a very favorable schedule down the stretch, and those are the teams they got to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Reggie and Andre are doing a terrific job with the pick and roll the past couple of games. Not so much in the Knicks series, but the other two, they did a terrific job. And Drummond and Harris, they got to be hot too. I'm with you. I really don't think I can see them going far. But considering what we were dealing with the past 2 seasons, the fact that we're talking about them going to the playoffs, possibly making a second round run, I don't know. I think that's terrific. Improvement is on its way, and Stan Van Gundy's just doing a terrific job. Another guy, there's a lot of rumors going around that they might be thinking about picking up Carmelo Anthony. How I feel about that, I don't know. I like the guy. I think he could going back to Jerry Jones, he could put some butts in the seats. He's not a huge, terrific shooter, but he does make plays. He does do a terrific job. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him.
I'm opposed right now. I'll tell you right now.
I
don't want anything to do with Carmelo. He's past his prime. To me, he's the best thing in an awful squad. I could make an analogy, but I'm gonna take the high road and not risk my job. Let's just say I don't want Carmelo Anthony. He's the best of the worst, I guess you could say, over in New York without getting too nitpicky, and I'm going to let that one go now. Yeah, to be honest, this team, they have a good young core of players. Andre Drummond, obviously, will be a free agent at the end of the year. I think he'll re-sign. They inked Reggie to a 5-year extension in the offseason. They have Marcus Morris, who's been playing better than anyone could have ever anticipated in that trade, which was a free trade pretty much. We gave up a second-round pick, picked up Danny Granger. Reggie Bullock, who's been playing absolutely incredible off the bench. He's got the Rip Hamilton mask going. He's knocking down shots, and he was just a throw-in on that deal. The Suns gave up Granger because they just wanted to get rid of some salary. And to me, I'm like, oh, Danny Granger. I didn't really follow basketball too much. I'm like, oh, sweet. He was great when he played for Indiana. Tore us up. And then I found out he was the skeleton of the deal. They were just unloading some salary and then the big guy was Marcus Morris. They split up him and his brother. They were great at Kansas, obviously, in the early to mid to late, actually, 2000s. Markieff and Marcus Morris. We got the better of the two, Marcus Morris, and he's been our starting 4. He's been incredible. And Reggie Bullock really came on of late, a throw-in to this trade. And Stan Van Gundy's the man. The Hedgehog just doing his thing. That's all you can ask for.
Yep, absolutely. And I think the best thing that they did was make him coach and manager at the same time. You have no one to answer to. You got a problem with the coach, which looking back in the past with the Pistons organization, they did have issues with the coach, and then they bypassed the coach and try and get him fired. They wouldn't play for him. We know how that story went. We were all here. But I love the fact that two positions that Stan Van Gundy holds, and nothing but respect for the guy. He's a terrific coach. He knows what he's doing. He's had terrific experience. He's worked with some of the best, and you can expect nothing less from Stan Van Gundy.
Red Wings, Brendan, tell me what it's like to be here. All right, well, not talking too much. You must be a little upset with his play Sunday night. He has been Brendan, I'm speaking like you're not here. You've been a healthy scratch for the last couple games. For the rookie, Alexei Marchenko, you just haven't been up to what you should be in the NHL. It's a shame because you had so much upside, so much promise. Do you have anything to say in rebuttal to that? Yeah, all right. Well, it looks like Brendan's pleading the fifth. Dan, wherever you are, he just took off. I think he's waiting out with the paparazzi. Brendan will be signing autographs outside of the studio. I think Dan went to get a good spot there. So just me and Brendan and Dan Myers, we're gonna take off. Watch him sign some autographs if he wants. He's not really too chatty right now. But for Dan Myers, wherever you are, for Brendan Smith, I'm Nick Buckler. Thanks for watching another edition of The Wrap Up.